welcome, 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 welcome. Oh, I gotta do something quick. Hang on. Oh dear. Life is a miserable mess. Not even half prepared for this stream. But oh well. We'll deal. Okay, that should be it. And we are starting off strong. We should just take the engine. Make sure I got my SCBA on. The rest of the stuff out of my inventory. I don't need backboard. I do need the water pump. Heavy chainsaw is good to have. Fire extinguisher. hate that it does that. It drives me up the wall. There we go. On that tree.
Absolutely not.
I did not train my firefighters like that. That makes me look bad. Being stubborn. I'm stuck on a tree, aren't I? No, it's just I'm not far from the engine. And I'm out of water too. What is he doing? Okay. So we'll get the water pump set up. I kind of figured that I would run out of water. Okay, so I used the access amount. I never like using excess amount of hose line because the fact that it does easily tangle. So literally, you cannot reach into the hose line. because I'm not going to wait around for this. None. Too much hassle, and I'm not going to go through it. Alright, let's check on what people have been blowing up my computer for. Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna bring the phone battery stuff to the next. Oh, okay. Same person just asked me if I was AFK on my DM. By the way, please do not use my DMs to contact me directly. I will get back to people when I get back to people. DMs are not the way to do it. If I don't answer you, it's because I'm either busy or someone's just annoyed me. But mostly it's because I'm busy. Alright. We are getting some new apparatus for River City because one of our investors pulled. We were supposed to get 2 new ambulances. However, unfortunately, it was pulled and I have to choose a different route. And some of the stuff is broken. We're gonna end up getting another batch. We're supposed to get we're gonna keep the main apparatus for command structure on car 1 and 3 will be remaining. We're gonna get a new battalion chief, a new command vehicle. It's not a battalion chief, it's a command vehicle. We're gonna be getting 3 new engines, 2 new ladders, 2 rescues, a water tender, a hazmat, a urban search and rescue, a squad, 2 medics, and a paramedic field chief. So hopefully all of that will end up nice. It's nice to actually have a proper hazmat. Because we've been utilizing a rescue for that. Specifically, we've been utilizing, and I'm going to switch my helmet to black, just so it doesn't have that ugly white piece sticking out of the back. We've been using this beast. However, because of the fact that we're going to be getting 2 new rescues, we're actually going to get 2 of these. But it'll be nice to actually have a hazmat, because right now this serves all purposes, including tech rescue and stuff like that. Okay. But yeah, this is our lights for that one. And the problem that I have with it is just we can't have rescue everywhere at once. Rescue needs to have a little bit of leeway to be able to By the way, if you guys want to join, the code is Railfan. I made it easy for you guys so you guys can see it. Alright. Actually nice to have multiple pieces of equipment built. I will say, the ladder truck up there. It's actually impressive. But see, the problem with it is with this much horsepower, it makes you vulnerable. So, yeah, that's the problem. New rig. Their units are meant to that way, when goes out, or, for example, an oil spill. And that's kind of problematic. I have to get a ladder truck. Also, having two ladders will also greatly improve our fire response. Because then you don't have to worry about, oh god, there's the ladder truck, oh, it's stuck in the river. we'll have a backup to actually respond. So that'll be nice. And that means we can spare the 3 engines to respond to medical calls. Yes, we get the 3 engines once for the rescue, but oh well. It'll be nice. So we're supposed to be filming at 2 today, so we're gonna be filming like an hour. We only have the 1 ladder right now. Well, now we have 2 because we have that 2nd ladder from Springfield, but that's not enough for a high-rise incident. So we have to still continuously move them. So, right now, we're planning on getting the 2 new ones. That'll hopefully lessen the issue of tying up the ladder trucks all the time. I want to make sure it's just right even. There, got it. Now, here's the other problem. And this is why I keep saying they need to add a quint. Plus, photoshopped into the game, and it's impressive. Sorry, I had to get a drink of orange juice. No, I'm feeling better. Thankfully. I had a cold for a while. I don't know if my voice still sounds scratchy. I don't hear it anymore as much. But I still have that annoying after cough that I get every time I get a cold. It's like, oh dear God. But no, it was just a really bad cold. I was alright. I get them all the time. I really like the ladder, but what they based this truck on, they based it on one of the largest departments in the United States. See, the FDNY, which this truck, it is confirmed, it is based on the FDNY ladder truck. Specifically their Ferrara Ultra fleet. FDNY has, I think, close to over 150 stations. In 5 boroughs. River City Fire and Rescue has 2. This truck was made specifically for FDNY because of how they operate. And they operate on what is called the truck engine system. They always have. But there's several upsides and downsides to the 2 different types of systems. There's like no time to talk. No, I haven't done this in a while. Also, we do not have a brush truck. I only just realized that. The only one we have is this one. And this one, but that doesn't really count. But also, we don't respond to a lot of brush fires. But we'll use Springfield today. Just for the sake of interest. Also, they don't have a new brush truck. They're getting a whole new fleet. Just not a new brush truck. Something massively makes the job much easier to do. Too far away to do anything, so I'm gonna end up getting an attack line. But no, the first both shot. And we did like one attack. There we go. And they have a pump lacrosse. Right now, as we're talking at the time of streaming, they house 3 quints, about to go to 2, and 2 full-time engines, 2 reserve engines. The standard response typically requires 1 of the engines, because one side is north and one is south, or if it depends on the availability, because sometimes one of the engines is tied up. You have the 2 quints that get called out, between 2 to 3 rescues, and all of them serve the job well. And then they add on the second engine if needed. The reserve engines, one being a backup and one being specifically for wildland fires, or if they need another engine. But essentially, it works well for smaller departments. I think the police roleplay community, which is the people that run this, would do well benefited by adding one. Or, heck, even a shower ladder with water flow capability. Because right now, if the ladder is just responds, and there is no engine in there, it's useless. It is really paperless. And that is because there's not much it can do without the engine. So with a small enough department, and not everyone plays the game, it makes for a very difficult time playing with ladder. So, because I want to also point out some of the other ones, because this department is relatively flawed in the way things were added over the few years. When it started, it had 4 units, with the exception of the medical team and the command. It had an engine, it had a rescue, or a squad at the time, a ladder, there was one more. I cannot remember it. But those were the main ones. And I remember when it was that way. You had the engine, the rescue, and the ladder all responding out to the same call. But since then, they've added... So, let's go through the units, shall we? You have your engine, which is on every department. You have your tanker, which I'm actually going to get out. Let's see. We only have the U.S. Forestry Service. That's new. We are getting a new tanker for Springfield, so... But essentially, the tanker is a well-suited design, but it carries the same amount of water as an engine. It's relatively useless if it's not built for what it's designed for. You have your heavy rescue. Now that's typical, and I really like how they added it. You have your ambulance. Typical on every fire department. You have your command, your ladder truck. Now this. I have a few problems with this. Let me explain why. The technical rescue / hazmat. This truck is in no way equipped with everything it needs to serve both purposes. For example, a tech rescue will need cribbing, specialized extraction equipment, an A-frame. You need to be able to have ground ladders, specialized rope bags and harnesses, and the like. Hazmat, you have to have every single neutralizer for every single hazardous material. If this truck had another compartment behind that, I would not have had any problem with it. But it's on such a short frame. This is what I see in a lot of rural fire departments. This is essentially a rescue built out of a beverage delivery truck. That's what this is. And that's because they had to. There is a very well-suited rescue for that. The rescue I showed earlier has the ability to do that. And I'm actually going to pull out the veteran survey. Now, I did figure out where this actually came from. Okay, how is it I hit the wall? I'm definitely curious. Okay, this is a perfectly suited design for a proper hazmat rig. And even then, it could also serve as a double purpose urban search and rescue. We'll have to hold off until we get this fire out. That ought to be interesting. And this is another problem. If there's a fire like this, half the time in the public service, there is little to no response. And while I get it, there's a lot of issues with how that played it out. Also, if you guys know, we are looking for more legends to join our Roleplay server. And just you guys have to be active or, well, you know, to stay in the server. Because I actually had to encourage a lot of people because they literally just joined. Half of them didn't join. But in public service, it's nearly the same. Half the time, you get told to do it yourself when they're out. But that's not how it works. The fire department needs to have a team. The fire or mutual aid. The Springfield fire, in talking roleplay terms, would have been having their hands full already. They would have been going in, searching the building, making sure the building was clear and not occupied. Oh, that's gonna be fun. They would have been making sure that the building was not occupied still. All 3 command vehicles. Yeah, it's pointless. Is done about as well as they catch criminals. Abysmal. also what I'd like to see is hydrogen. That was really one type of roleplay. And overhaul. Now, I would like to see this as an actual rescue instead of a mobile command center. Because as a mobile command center, it is useless. It is a useless truck, completely unworthy of what it's built. The fact that it looks more like a walk-in rescue, I'll even show you for context. I'm still learning that. We all know FDMR's SC1. It looks perfect for that. For the job it was created for, it's useless. You have your heavy tanker. That's good for a rural part of the fire department. That is perfect. Textbook. UTV and ATV, I have no problems with. That was actually a really good ad. Floodlight carrier. Once again, another good ad that has been used in other fire departments. I don't have a problem with. The paramedic SUV. Now, this I have a problem with because of the fact that it's not serious if you can see how to build it. But if you use it as a paramedic field piece, it serves it well. It definitely serves the purpose it was built. This, I have not seen a single fire department ever use a bad charger. I have never seen it. Because it's just not worth it. Maybe really poor fire departments that don't have the ability to have a full-on built command vehicle, but that's still a problem. Utility function event. This is well suited as a utility truck. Command vehicle. I would see these. Textbook. Works what it's supposed to do. International lander. Not a big fan of using a large semi-chassis for that, but that's just my opinion. I have seen it so, once again, exception. A squad. We call them rescues here in Wisconsin. They are perfectly built for what they should be for. I have no problem with it. The brush. No problem. I have a problem with this. exist shouldn't even exist in the realm of this department. The department is way too small to have a major emergency response vehicle. Or, if you want to really go that route, the major response vehicle or other names that somebody showed out. A bus built to deal with a ton of people. There is not a single call out for it. You can maybe argue the tunnel collapse, but that's literally to the extent of it. Not built up. And it's one of the calls. Yep, just out of there. But like I said, oh, I did not. Oops. Okay, I need to make it's a habit for me. So grab it out. By the way, if you guys wonder why I do this, it is actually a protocol within the fire service. If you have too much line, and it even coiled like this, just like I wanted to. Make sure you have no kinks in the line. There's bad news there if you have a kink in your line. And no, I'm not talking about that. I am talking about a little bend in the hose that one of the worst things that you can have happen is a car driving over your lawn. It is dangerous and it cuts water supply. And if you're inside and that fire comes back at you and you don't have a water supply, guess what? You're out of luck. That fire doesn't put it back. Towards the ceiling, and this is actually something that actually a lot of people know this part, but what happens in the ceiling is water up in the ceiling. It does into a cold pool and actually kind of chokes out the fire. Very well understood concept by firefighters, but more weapons. When a flashover occurs, this is going to be a lot. Flashover is essentially fire within a room to a room that is entirely on fire. Essentially, let's say a fire started here. What it would do is it would build a heat pool all around the ceiling here. That heat, with the smoke, creates a greenhouse effect. The heat gets redirected back towards the floor. Now, as the heat builds, the room gets hotter and hotter. As soon as it hits 1100 degrees at the ceiling, carbon monoxide can auto-ignite. And when that happens, essentially that whole room lights up, because everything at that point in the room has reached auto-ignition temperature. And thus, anything, including firefighters, will not survive it. There has not been a known case of survival of a flashover. And some people might criticize you saying, oh, but there's people who can survive flashovers. That's because flashovers flashover is essentially after the failure of the entire effect. It is at that point. Once you have this scenario, it's going to survive about 3 minutes. 300 degrees left. And fire, auto, and that point, that whole room breaks down. Whatever temperature was when it started, you get 1100 degrees. How much is it? I'm gonna see. What the hell am I looking at? There we go. Now I got this. another excuse me. Another misconstrued terminology is backdraft. Now, backdraft in layman's terms is essentially you push the fire and the fire pushes back. But in the context of it, essentially, when a backdraft occurs, the fire has... Fire needs what is called a fire triangle. It needs three things to survive. It needs heat, it needs fuel, and it needs oxygen. If any of those three things become get to the point where it's out of flammability range, the fire will die. However, even if the fire goes out, those two things are still present. In a backdraft case, you have heat and you have fuel, but it's starving from oxygen. Essentially what happens is if you introduce air by, say, opening a door or smashing a window, that fire is going to go right to it. And essentially that wave of oxygen goes in and the fire pushes over it and pushes out, which is why you see smoke. However, the other factor of it is it happens so fast that the smoke also ignites at points. So you could either see a smoke explosion or a fireball. Neither is good. And yeah, that's what a backdraft in simpler terms is. But it's actually a fascinating subject. I suggest you guys do some research on your own time as well. Alright, we are getting to that point where I think the stream is officially dying. I'm probably going to just do one more call, and then I'm going to get ready to record. Alright. I'll leave this one up to you, chat. What unit would you like me to respond to as next? For the last call. Actually, I don't think we have a heavy tanker right now. Oh, yep, we do. We have water tender 11. I don't like that it says pumper. It is not a pumper. Well, it is, but it's essentially a pickup with a giant tank on the back. I'll pull out Springfield's new engine for the last one, then. Also, I really like how the door is done on the back. Only thing I can criticize this design for is not having the line continue from here to there. The other thing, I don't like how it goes from here up into the black. The only thing I have to criticize about this letter. But no, this is our new Springfield engine 2. So. And no, we do not have an engine 1. That is actually something we are changing with Springfield. It'll go battalion, engine, rescue, ladder, something number 5. I think it was tender 5. Either it was tender 5 or tender 6. What was it? Hang on. I'm looking. And there it is. Last call. I would like I would forget that. I would. Also, if you guys are asking, because I have got did not like me when I started. Come on! Do I really have to use the ladder trick? Really hate doing this. There's not a logical way to do this either, except using an actual ladder truck. Not exactly professional grade. I just knocked over his car. Absolutely not! Absolutely not. Really? That was dumb. I have never seen someone just Dude, just, wow. You don't do that at all, ever. That was beyond dumb. Wow. Welcome to how I put up with that. I don't put up with it. What you say, you stubborn. Tries to appeal, we know exactly what he did. Little rat. Oh, and that's why I have so many problems with the hose line. Alright. Banned in the server. For no reason. Especially if you call a mod and then shoot the mod. That's number one way to get banned. I don't put up with that. Ever. Alright, well, I think that's gonna be the end of this video. I gotta log that ban, so alright. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!